Hello, devoted fans of Days of Our Lives. Welcome back to the Days Drama Digest, your go-to source for all the heart-pounding, tear-jerking, and jaw-dropping moments from our beloved soap opera. It's October 10th, 2025, and today's episode delivered a roller coaster of emotions, tangled relationships, and shocking revelations that have left Salem reeling. If you missed the latest chapter in this saga, fear not, we're here to dive deep into every twist and turn, unraveling the intricate web of secrets, betrayals, and unexpected alliances that unfolded. Buckle up, because this recap is packed with drama, and we're sparing no detail in bringing you the full, unfiltered story of what went down in Salem today. A tangled web of suspicion, Brady, Johnny, and Chanel unravel Sophia's scheme. The episode opened with a tense meeting at the DiMera mansion, where Brady Black found himself face-to-face with Johnny DiMera and Chanel Dupree. The air was thick with unease as the trio sat down to discuss a topic that has been the talk of Salem, Sophia Choi's alleged role in a vicious plot to sabotage Johnny and Chanel's adoption process. The couple dropped a bombshell, revealing their suspicion that Sophia was the mastermind behind a series of scandalous events that nearly derailed their lives. It all started with a set of inappropriate photos that mysteriously landed in Johnny's phone, sent from Holly Jonas's number at the worst possible moment, right as a social worker was evaluating their home for Tesoro's adoption. The photos, laced with suggestive undertones, painted Johnny in a compromising light, threatening to shatter their chances of welcoming the newborn into their family. As if that weren't enough, Chanel received an anonymous letter filled with vile, obscene insults aimed at Johnny, further fueling their suspicions of foul play. Brady, ever the skeptic, was visibly perplexed. "Why would Sophia go to such lengths to target you two?" he asked, his brow furrowed with doubt. He couldn't wrap his head around the idea that Sophia, a seemingly innocent young woman, could orchestrate such a malicious scheme. More perplexing still was the question of Tesoro, the infant at the center of the storm. Brady had been adamant that Tesoro wasn't Sophia's child, citing a DNA test that showed no genetic link to his son, Tate. But as Johnny and Chanel laid out their case, detailing Sophia's cunning and manipulative behavior, Brady's certainty began to waver. The conversation took a dramatic turn when Chanel recounted a chilling encounter with Sophia at the town square. "She looked me in the eye and smiled, like she knew something I didn't," Chanel said, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and fear. Johnny chimed in, revealing that they'd traced the anonymous letter's handwriting to a notebook Sophia had left behind at the bakery. The evidence was mounting and Brady's skepticism was crumbling. Could Sophia truly be the mother of Tesoro? And if so, was Tate the father? The uncertainty hung heavy in the room, leaving Brady grappling with a truth he wasn't ready to face. As the trio parted ways, Brady's mind was a whirlwind of questions. He replayed every interaction he'd had with Sophia, searching for clues he might have missed. The possibility that Tesoro could be tied to his family in such an intimate way sent a shiver down his spine. Would he confront Sophia directly, or would he dig deeper to uncover the full extent of her deception? One thing was certain, this revelation was only the beginning of a much larger storm brewing in Salem. Sarah's secret and Kayla's counsel, a bond tested by silence. Meanwhile, across town at University Hospital, Sarah Horton sought solace in the comforting presence of her trusted friend and colleague, Kayla Johnson. The hospital's sterile halls seemed to amplify Sarah's anxiety as she confided in Kayla, her voice barely above a whisper. Bound by HIPAA and her unwavering professionalism, Kayla listened intently, her expression a mix of concern and curiosity. Sarah's words were cryptic, hinting at a secret so explosive it could upend lives in Salem, particularly where Sophia was concerned. "I don't know how much longer I can keep this to myself," Sarah admitted, her hands trembling as she clutched a cup of lukewarm coffee. Kayla, ever the empathetic confidant, pressed gently for details, careful not to push too hard. Was Sarah's secret tied to Sophia's schemes, or was it something even more personal? The audience was left on edge, wondering if Sarah's burden involved Tesoro, Tate, or perhaps a hidden truth about her own past. Kayla's role as a trusted friend was put to the test as Sarah's confession grew more intense. "You know I can't break confidentiality," Kayla reminded her, her tone firm yet compassionate. "But I'm here for you, Sarah. Whatever you're carrying, you don't have to do it alone." The moment was a poignant reminder of the deep bonds that hold Salem together, even in the face of chaos. As Sarah wiped away a tear, viewers couldn't help but speculate, what was the secret that weighed so heavily on her heart? And would Kayla's counsel help Sarah find the courage to face it, or would it drive her deeper into silence? The Hernandez family's heartfelt struggle, Javi, Leo, and Tesoro's future. In the Hernandez household, the atmosphere was one of warmth tinged with worry. Javi Hernandez and Leo Stark had opened their hearts and home to Tesoro, treating the infant as if he were their own. The entire Hernandez family had rallied around the child, creating a cocoon of love and protection in the midst of Salem's turmoil. But beneath their smiles and gentle lullabies, a gnawing fear persisted. Where would Tesoro end up? Javi, pacing the living room with Tesoro cradled in his arms, voiced his concerns to Leo. "We've given him everything. Love, safety, a family," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "But what if he ends up in a place that's toxic?" Leo, usually quick with a quip, was uncharacteristically solemn. "We can't let that happen, Javi," he replied, his eyes fixed on the sleeping baby. "Tesoro deserves better than that." Their conversation was interrupted by a knock at the door, revealing Gabby Hernandez, who had been investigating Sophia's motives. Gabby's findings only deepened the family's unease as she shared rumors that Sophia might be more involved in Tesoro's life than anyone had realized. The Hernandez clan vowed to protect Tesoro at all costs, but the uncertainty of his future cast a long shadow over their home. Would their love be enough to shield him from the chaos of Salem's secrets? Holly's heartbreak and hasty departure, a teen's tumultuous journey. At the heart of today's episode was Holly Jonas, whose life seemed to unravel with every passing moment. The young woman was still reeling from a humiliating incident at Salem University, where she'd gotten drunk and nearly set the dorm on fire. The embarrassment was compounded by the revelation that she had accidentally sent inappropriate photos to Johnny DiMera, a blunder that sabotaged his and Chanel's adoption plans. Unbeknownst to Holly, Sophia had orchestrated the entire fiasco, manipulating her into sending the photos and setting off a chain reaction of chaos. Holly's shame was palpable as she packed her bags, preparing to leave Salem for Paris to join her mother, Nicole. The decision wasn't made lightly. It was a desperate attempt to escape the weight of her mistakes and the judgmental whispers of the town. But before she could slip away, Holly witnessed a moment that stopped her in her tracks. At Brady's house, she saw Sophia and Tate sharing a tender, heartwarming exchange. The sight of the teen mom and Tate, laughing softly as they played with Tesoro, stirred something deep within Holly. Was it jealousy, regret, or simply the ache of knowing she was leaving behind a life she could never fully reclaim? Complicating matters further was Ariana Horton, who had sworn Holly to secrecy about her departure. "Don't tell Tate," Ari insisted, her eyes pleading. "He's got enough to deal with." Holly agreed, but the promise weighed heavily on her. As she boarded the bus to the airport, her heart was a battlefield of conflicting emotions, guilt over her mistakes, longing for Tate, and a flicker of hope that Paris might offer a fresh start. But with Sophia's scheme still unfolding, would Holly's escape be as simple as she hoped? The bigger picture, Salem's fragile bonds and looming revelations. As the episode drew to a close, the interconnected lives of Salem's residents were more entangled than ever. Brady's growing suspicions about Sophia hinted at a confrontation that could expose her true motives. Sarah's secret, shared only with Kayla, threatened to ripple through the town, potentially altering relationships and alliances. The Hernandez family's fierce love for Tesoro underscored the stakes of the adoption battle, while Holly's departure left a void that could shift the dynamics among Salem's younger generation. The drama of October 10, 2025, was a masterclass in storytelling, weaving together themes of betrayal, loyalty, and the relentless pursuit of truth. Each character faced their own crucible, forced to confront their fears, doubts, and desires in a town where secrets never stay buried for long. As the credits rolled, viewers were left with burning questions. Will Brady uncover Sophia's true intentions? Can Sarah find the strength to reveal her secret? And what will become of Tesoro, the innocent child caught in the crossfire of Salem's drama? Stay tuned for more. Thank you for joining us at Days Drama Digest for this comprehensive recap of today's unforgettable episode. If you're as captivated by these stories as we are, be sure to tune in tomorrow for the next chapter in the saga of Days of Our Lives. Share your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think about Sophia's schemes, Holly's heartbreak, and the mystery surrounding Tesoro. Until next time, keep your eyes on Salem, where every day brings a new twist in the tale.